Hey loves and welcome back to my channel. It's Ijoma here, and in today's video we're going to learn how to make this top. It is a corset top with this one-sided drape sleeve, off-shoulder drape sleeve. So now if you're making this top, you need just 1 yard of the main fabric, that is for the top, and another 1 yard that you will use for the sleeve, the draped sleeve. It is really easy. So now we're going to be drafting the front and the back, and this is more like a corset, a bustier, call it a Victorian corset, kinda. Yes, that's how they drafted it. Now I have marked my chest line, bust point, under bust, half length, and my full length. Though in this case I don't really need my underbust because we did not pad it, so we are using just our half length measurement. All right, so this is my chest line. I'll mark a straight line there. Then this one is our bust point, this is our half length, this particular line is our half length, and then the full length. So if you're making this type of top, the full length should not be too long. It should be like 6 inches or 5 inches below your half length. My half length is 17, then 5 inches below it is 22. I made the length of the top 22. So for the back, my half length at the back is shorter than my half length of at the front. My back half length is 16, while the front half length is 17. Then that will also affect the full length of the back. So the full length of the front is 22, but the full length of the back will be 21. So if you are taking your measurements, measure your front half length and your back half length separately. So my front is 17, my back is 16. Now I'll start labeling these lines. This is chest line, this is bust point, this one is bust point, this is half length, and this is full length. I'll also repeat the same thing at the back. I'll extend my chest line at the back also. Sorry, I made a mistake by extending the bust point line. There's no bust at the back, so we don't need this bust point line at the back. So I'm labeling my back, chest line, half length, and full length. Okay, and I'll go ahead and divide this paper so that we can focus on our fronts pattern. For now, after drafting the front, we can draft the back. All right, so now I am done cutting off the paper, and we'll start by marking our nipple to nipple line. That is that line, and that is 4 inches. My nipple to nipple is 8, then I divided it by 2, that is 4. So I'm marking 4 inches straight line, and I'm going to connect the straight line. But at the full length, I marked 2.5 instead. I marked 4 inches at the chest line and bust point, but at the full length I marked 2.5. Okay, so that is it. You can mark 2.5 or you can mark 3 at the full length so that the dart line would not be straight. Now I've added my under bust line. Then at the upper bust, that is above the chest, and I will take 1 inch on this side, half inch on the other side. On the under bust, I will take 1.5 here and 1 on the other side. Then at the full length, I will take 1 inch on both sides of the line. At the upper bust, I did 1.5 on the other side. At the under bust, I did 1.5 here and 1 on the other side. At the full length, I did 1 inch on both sides. Okay, so I did this so that my under bust will not enter too much. I don't want it to be too curvy. I hope you understand what I am talking about. So right now I'll connect from my bust point to my upper bust. And after connecting this upper bust, you will also give your neckline a sweetheart neckline. Okay, you give it a sweetheart neckline. All right, now after giving it the sweetheart neckline, you take your body measurement. You can actually take your body measurement before the sweetheart neckline. So my bust divided by 4 I marked. Then I'll replace the dart I took at the upper bust. That is a total of 1.5. I will add it back to my bust divided by 4. That dart I took at the upper bust, yes, you replace the dart. Then at the half length, measure the dart you have there. I have 2 inches there. Then I divided my waist by 4, and I'll add back the 2 inches for the dart that I marked at the half length. Then at the full length, you will take your hip measurement there, your hip divided by 4 plus the dart you took at the full length, that is 2, and I'll also replace the dart allowance also at the side. Then after doing all this, I'll go ahead and connect. After connecting, I'll mark my sweetheart neckline, and I will curve it down to the chest line. The chest line is also known as the armhole line. Chest line is 2 inches above bust point, and it is also known as armhole line. So for my sweetheart neckline, I'll come down by like 1 inch from the upper bust, and then I will curve it into the that line, and then from there I will smoothen it into the chest. Now you can see what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so after doing this, you are going to mark your side dart. So from the bust point, I came down by 1 inch. That is to make up to the half length of the back. You know, the back half length is the full length of the back is 1 inch shorter than that of the front. So at the side dart, you will take out that 1 inch, so that when you close your side dart, the side and of the front and the side of the back will be equal. By the time you close this side dart, if you are joining the front and the back, two of them will have the same measurement. Now I will go ahead and cut out. Yes, after cutting this out, I will also cut it out on my fabric, but for now we would draft the back before we continue. So for the back, it is really easy. If you want your back to have a dart, fine. If you do not want it to have a dart, that is still okay. After cutting out this front piece, I'll also go ahead and close the side darts. Now I am done doing that for the front, and I'll focus on the back. So this is my back piece. I'll cut it off from the full length, and then you know that when we are drafting the front neckline, we curved it into our chest line, and that means the neckline of the back will be straight and two of them will meet at the chest line. The front neckline ended at the chest line, so the back neckline will also start from that chest line, so that when you are joining, two of them will be equal. There is no zip allowance, so I marked for 4 inches for my dart, and at the upper bust I will take at the chest line I will take 0.25 0.25. At the half length I will take 0.5 0.5. At the full length I will just connect the dart lines to the center nipple line. Okay, like after marking these 4 inches, I did not add any zip allowance because it is corset, we will lace it. So I took half inch at the half length. At the chest line I took 0.25 0.25. Then after that I will take my body measurements, and I'll also replace my that's measurements. Like I'll go ahead and replace my measurements. Now this is the back piece, and it is very easy. Now I'll also come up by 1.5 and curve the full length, just like I did to the front. Yes, curve the full length so that your full length will not be straight. Go up by like 1.5 or 2 inches and curve the side of your full length. Now after doing that, I'll go ahead and cut out these fronts, then these pieces. Then I will mark 1 inch or 1.5 for my lacing. From the center piece I will come in by 1.5 and mark a straight line. So this place I'm cutting out now is for the lacing. You know, this is a corset and we are going to like lace it or snatch it. Yeah, so you remove 1.5 for your rope. So these places that I marked, this dot indicates the eyelet, so that you guys will not be confused. So the center back will have an eyelet, the other one will not have. So you have labeled CB, center back, SB, side back. Then I'm trying to check if the front and the back are equal at the sides, and now all of them are equal. The next thing that I'm going to do is to cut out on my fabric. arranging all my pieces, and I'm going to cut out the sleeve. So I'm using this doll face for the sleeve. I'm managing this fabric here, so I'll use this doll face. But if you are sewing this top, you should use a lighter fabric for this drape sleeve so that it will drape very well. So this particular step is easy. Just fold your fabric into two, and you measure out a length, like, you know, it will be two pieces, the front and the back. Then you will join two of them at the side before you insert your drawstring. So you will measure the full length. How you get the full length is you measure your round shoulder. Yes, measure your round shoulder. So I use 24 inches to cut it out, and the height, like the breadth, will be 20 inches. That is 24 by 20, 24 by 20, and I'll divide it into two. One side will be 24 inches. That is the one that will go around your hand, round your hand. The one that will come from your neckline around your arm will be 24 inches. Then the height, the wideness will be 20, so that when you gather it, it will drape very well. So I have two pieces of this. After cutting out the two pieces, I'll also cut out small ropes, like 1.5 small pieces that we use for the rope, and you will need 4 pieces of that rope, okay, because you're going to use it for drawstring on each side. So I'll make it 4 pieces, right? Now I am done cutting all the pieces, and I am done folding the pieces, like the sleeve pieces. These are the rope. Yeah, the rope pieces. I have 4 of them here. 4. Yes, I have 4 of them here. Then after arranging all this rope, yes, I'll keep it aside. Then I will get the 2 pieces that I cut out for my sleeve. You know that my sleeve piece is 2 pieces, yeah, and you can see that I folded the 2 edges. Then I'll go ahead and join the 2 of them. I will use 1 inch to close the 2 of them at the sides. Just 1 inch. I will use 1 inch to close at the side. Okay, so if I close that side, I'll run a stitch on top of it, and that is where I will insert my drawstring. Now this is the front of our corset. I've joined the front pieces, no lining. This top does not have a lining. If you want to add lining, that is fine. So these are the back pieces, and I'll arrange so you can see the center back and the side back pieces. Now it is time to add bones. Then before you add these bones, you are going to trim down your allowance. All these allowance, half inch allowance I use to join the front and the back, you are going to trim them down. So you can see that I'm trimming down my allowance, so that after running my bone on it, it will cover the allowance entirely. You don't have to weave. So what you're going to do is to trim down your allowance very well, so that when you run your bone on top of this line, the allowance will not show at all. So now after trimming all of them down, we are going to head over to our sewing machine so that you can see how I am attaching the bones. The bone is just easy. Just get a Reggiline bone or sewable bone. Some people call it sewable bone. Get your Reggiline bone or sewable bone, and you will sew it on top. If you want to cover your bone with fabric, you can cover your bone with fabric, but me, I did not cover my own. Had it been I had a black bone, it would have been better. I would have used black bone to sew all this, and it will look neat, right? But if you want, you can go ahead and cover your bone with pieces before you run your bones. So now after trimming all this allowance, we move to our sewing machine. So now you go ahead and mark all the lines. You add on your dart lines, and then mark all the lines where you want to insert this bone or attach this bone. So now I'm on my sewing machine. I'm done sewing the ones on the dart line, and that is what will help give your cup shape, that curvy shape. So now I am running on the sides. So this front basically have 4 bones, 2 on the dart lines, yes, and other 2 at the on the sides. So now after doing this, I am going to repeat the same thing at the back. I will also add one piece or two pieces to the back. Yes, I'll add two pieces to the back. Okay, yeah. Now that I am done, this is the back. I have added 2 pieces to the back, and I also used bone to like pipe the back. Just like the way you use bias, you will use your bone to pipe the center back. Okay, so now I will shape the side. After shaping the side, I will trim down the allowance of the side also. Like you trim down the allowance of the side, all the sides, trim down the allowance very well, then use bone and cover the seam allowance. So if you're looking at your top from the inside, you will not see any seam allowance because you trimmed down the seam allowance and then you used bone to pipe that seam allowance. Okay, so you can see my center back. I used my bone to pipe the center back. Like you use your bone to fold it or to turn it the way you turn with your bias. So now I'll go ahead and stitch the sides. So right now I am done, and the next thing that we do now is to get my bias. I will use bias to pipe the whole of the neckline and the whole of the full length. So I used white bones, that is why it is looking like this. You can use black bones, or you can even use a lining. Yes, if you want to turn your corset with a lining, that is fine. But I was doing the ready to wear style. If you want to pipe your bones instead of turning with a lining, you can also do that. So now you also attach a strappy sleeve to one side of this top, just to one side, the side that the sleeve will cross the shoulder. Yes, you add a strappy sleeve, like a tiny sleeve around there, a strap. Now I will use this my bias to turn the full length and the neckline. So I'm trimming the full length very well, and the neckline also. You also give your neckline a fine sweetheart shape. Then you will use this bias to turn your neckline and the full length. Now this is the sleeve. I am done shaping the two sides of the sleeve. I am going to open up the allowance and run a stitch. You can see I am done ironing the allowance. I'll go ahead and run a stitch on each side of this allowance. Run 2 stitches on the both sides. Then I will come back and insert this drawstring, just like the way we insert drawstrings. Yes, that's how we are going to do it. So for now, this is what I have, and I am going to do my piping. Yes, I'm done doing my piping right now, and everything is looking neat. From the outside you will not see anything. Yeah, so if you want to turn with lining, fine. Now I am done running stitches on for my drawstrings, and I will start inserting my drawstring. So I will insert 2 ropes on both sides of this sleeve. So that drawstring is what is going to help it to drape. So if you drag the drawstring, it will drape. So if you reach the top, you will drag out your rope and stitch on it on that side. Then later you will draw your drawstrings and your sleeve will drape. Now I am done. I will attach one sleeve, like one strap, to the right hand side of this neckline. Yes, I'll attach it to the right hand side of the neckline. That is where I am going to stitch the sleeve on. So that sleeve, you know, this sleeve, one of them is on the shoulder, then the other one dropped on the other side. So you can see what the top looks like on the body form now, on the mannequin round. Yeah, it has one sleeve on the right side. So now I am going to wear the other sleeve on it, and I will stitch it down to that tiny sleeve on the shoulder. Yes, so I've placed this one on top of it now, and I stitch it down. You can see that it has covered that tiny sleeve, and the other one fell off. So now if you wear it on your body, you will notice that one is on the shoulder and the other one fell off.